Hi everyone, let's continue working on our dungeon crawler. And today we'll start with implementing win and lose conditions. So let's first look where we left off. So we can move up and down the stairs and still move around. We also have a lot of tests that validate the game's behavior. Let's start with win and lose conditions, and let's start with the win condition first. And for now, reaching a specific tile will be the win condition. Think about it like you reach the treasure down in the dungeon that you came to collect. Not very original, of course, but it will do for now. So I think we can create a new test file for win and lose conditions. So only testing, and we'll need to import our game. Now we can create a suite called win and lose conditions. And the first test will be that when a new world is created, it should have an undetermined win or lose state. So we can call this function something like a new world state, and we'll start with creating a new world. It requires a map. And then we simply expect this world to have a state that is undetermined. And these, of course, don't exist yet, so let's add them in our world. So let's create an enum to hold our states. And one case will be undetermined. We'll have a win state, and we'll have a lose state. And then we can just say that our state is a game state. I'm sorry, the world state dot undetermined. And this should now pass. So let's quickly commit. And I actually think we can create this one as a private, set this one private. So let's do a quick test. Okay. Quick refactor. Let's continue. So, okay, new world that's created in the win or lose state. Let's look at a win condition. So when the party reaches the target, the world should be in the win state. When the party reaches target, so again we need a world. And this time the map will need to have some stuff in it. Let's just say that it's a very simple map that has an empty tile and then a target tile. So we'll use a capital T to indicate the target tile. Then we say world.move party to the right. So we move from this tile to the next tile, and then we expect that our world.state to be the win state. So let's run this test and see it fail. And then let's start implementing the right things for this. So first we need to know about target in our map. So let's add a case for a target that returns target. How do we call this? We'll call this the win target, just to make it a target. I think a bit too generic. That could also be a target you're targeting a mob or something like that. And then we need a case also for this win target. And now we can have the compiler help us out in making sure that we have this covered everywhere. So for instance, in our move party, we should add the win target case. What we could also do is say, well, I assume that everything that's not a wall, a stairs up, or stairs down is enterable. And then we can just make this the default case. And now still our test fails, but now at least we can start implementing a solution. So let's go into our world, and instead of returning a hard code value called state, let's return calculated on the spot. If current floor, I'll add what position. If this is a win target, then we return win. Otherwise, we return undetermined. Okay, so this now works. Let's see if we can get this visualized in our world as well. So let's go to our content view, and let's assume we have some form of debug view. That has a text. You can just say let's give this one a background. For instance, gray, sure. Oh, why not make it semi-transparent? And let's see if we can actually see this on the screen. Sort of. It's very difficult to see. So maybe this isn't such a good call yet. Also, I think it would help if we made the foreground color a bit clearer. Okay, so now we can see status undetermined. However, it won't update yet. And let's add a target, for instance, in the tile right after where you go to the second floor. This is now the target tile. If I move over it, the state doesn't update. And the reason for that is that this view doesn't know when this state changes. So it doesn't know when to update itself. And to solve that, what we really need is an actual view model. So we'll use a view model to glue together sort of our world and the visuals. And for now, let's keep it very simple. Let's create a final class called ViewModel. And this one will use unique combine, because then this can become an observable object. And then we can create a published variable called world state. And then we can initialize this thing should also have a reference to the world. And we can initialize it with the world. We can say the world state is our world.state. And then we can create a function called update. And we'll just say world state equals world.state. And if we now, let's see, also give this thing a view model that will have the world. This means I need to make this a lazy variable, because then this one can get defined first. And then I could say, hey, I have a view model, and I'll take the game state from here. We call it the world state, I'm sorry. Really? Are you thinking that because I'm calling it here for the first time, it will become this part of this view model? That's kind of annoying. How am I going to solve this? Because I can't make this one a mutating. What I could do is simply give this thing an initializer and copy all this stuff and just say that I have a world and I have a view model, and this needs to be an observed object. And I think this should now be acceptable. So let's check. Okay, so this at least runs. It still probably won't update yet because we're never calling the update function. So it still remains undetermined, but we can quickly check this. What if I created a quick button called update a view model in? It should actually be part of this debug view. Just as an example. So I have this update button now. I click it, nothing happens. If I go to the right place, then I come into the win state. So that works. But of course, I don't want to be pressing a view model update button. I need a way of automatically updating this thing, just like we have in our update system. There's probably a lot of ways of doing it, but there's one I like to do, and I need to quickly look it up. And hacking with Swift side is really cool for these kinds of things. Update every frame. Will I find this? I don't want to use a timer, but because perhaps this one explains what you shouldn't if you don't want to use a timer. This is the one, yeah. We need to link I want to update this to, I want to call this update function basically every time the screen updates. So I should be able to do this. So I need a display link. I think I can add it to the initializer. And I need an update function. Update view model. Can't I do this here? I had to quickly look this up, but I don't need to call this from the content view, but I can actually do it in the view model where I initialize it. Here I can create this display link. Probably means I need to import core graphics. Or what does CA stand for again? Quartz core. Okay, sure. So I had to do a bit of searching because this solution only works on iOS. You need a different way of getting a display link on in macOS, and I think I found one. Well, this display link is an ns screen.main display link. The target will be self, and then we can add a selector, and just here we could call update if we annotate this as an Objective-C function. And then we can do display link dot add to our current run loop for the common mode. And I think this should now update. So we have an undetermined state, but if we go here, we are in our win state. It's a bit difficult to see, but it does work. And if we move away from style again, we are undetermined. So at least we have a way of doing these updates now automatically. Now, one of the cool things of having a view model here is that we can start using tests to verify their behavior. So if I go to our visualization tests, maybe the view model should have its own test. We'll use this one for now. This is about a visual representation. Let's create a new suite called ViewModel Shoot. These are ViewModel tests. And the first test will be that when the state of the world changes, the view model publishes or notifies its observers. View model notifies observers or world state changes. Okay, so we need a world, and we could reuse this world. I think this one is good enough. Then we need to have a view model. And we need to have an observer. We'll create a sort of mock observer. And that's something that we need to create. This also means that we need combine. So we can create a structure called observer. And can this be, yeah, this can just be an observable object. Let's see. And what this thing will do is it will keep a state. For instance, it will keep the undetermined state, but it will update to the new state once it's done. So it will be initialized by observing a ViewModel. And then it will take the world state and it will sync. The state will be the new value. This won't take a weak self. It will just take new state. And we need to store this one somewhere. And we should now be able to expect that the world dot, the observer dot state equals a win, at least after doing all the setup. If we say world dot move party to the right. Let's see if this works. That's why we need to weak self. Let's see what we expect. Okay, let's see if this does what we expect it to do. Okay, so it's still undetermined. The question, of course, is that because it's not publishing the change, or the change just didn't really happen? So what we could do is say, do we actually get this data in? Okay, so we received something. We get in a value called, oh, I see. One thing, you need to move the party right, but also, that's still part of the setup, we need to update our view models. And the view model is updated. And now it is. Okay, so let's see what we did. So we did a couple of things. So we worked on win and lose conditions. We implemented a very simple win condition and a view model that can notify observers the UI changes to the world state and made sure that view model gets updated every frame. Okay. Is there any tech debt for now? I don't think so. We do have this one. Most likely next time I want to at least add some visual indication of the target tile to move to. So I'll probably import something like a treasure chest or something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. For now, I'd say thanks for watching and have a great day.